Hey guys, welcome back to the Fragrance Dude. I am your host, and today I'm going to tackle a question that a lot of people using fragrances, perfumes, colognes, aftershaves might be having, especially if you're a beginner, or even if after using a lot of colognes for a lot of years, I didn't really know a lot of the differences between the different terminology used to define a cologne. So I'm gonna make an attempt to kind of, in very briefly, explain to you what it all means. Five main ones we're going to talk about are um, parfum. I'm really bad at French, but a lot of people call it parfum, but it's parfum. You end kind of nasal. So that's the first category. The second one is eau de parfum. So EDP that a lot of people know as. So EDP and EDT are common acronyms used for eau de parfum and eau de toilette. So um, so the first category is parfum, then eau de parfum, eau de toilette, and the next one comes eau de cologne, or just called cologne sometimes. And then the last category is really a after shave or a body splash. So those are the five categories we're going to tackle. So let's get into the description and what it actually all means. So perfumes are really extractions of different types of oils, from plant oils, or they may be synthetic oils, and they're kind of blended together. And because they're really thick and heavy, in order for them to be bottled and to be dispensed through an atomizer, we really need to dilute them down, and they use ethyl alcohol to dilute them down. Now, all these five different terms that we just heard are just how the end product is, and what the ethyl alcohol to the oil ratio is. So it's really an oil to alcohol ratio. Parfum obviously are the heaviest. They are, I don't have an example with me, but you've heard of parfums either in perfume stores, or you've seen those small bottles of perfumes that they're pretty common in the Mediterranean, in the Middle Eastern, Asian countries, and those are the perfumes. Those are the heavy concentrates. They're also sometimes called at extrait de parfum. Extrait is really extract, so or parfum. So they can be those terms can be used interchangeably. The next category is really eau de parfum, and I used to call it eau de parfum, which is a lot of Americans say that term. But I listened to, I talked to a couple of French friends, and I also saw some videos on YouTube, and eau de parfum is sort of what I've kind of come to eventually. So I have a couple examples of eau de parfum, which are EDPs, and one is Bentley Intense, and Bentley for Men Intense, and I just love this cologne. And obviously, if you want to check out my review, go and I'll have a link below for you guys, or you can obviously search them on YouTube. But this is a magnificent, beautiful concoction here. So that's an example of a eau de parfum. Another example that I have here is Jaipur by Boucheron, and this is another one of my favorites. Both these colognes, both these EDPs or eau de parfums that I just showed you are really unique, and I use them on special occasions. I don't use them on a regular basis, on a daily basis, but they are for specific occasions. So those are two examples of eau de parfum. So when you look at the concentration of fragrance oils and the alcohol, the first category that we talked about, parfums, are the fragrance oil concentration is, the range is 15 to 40%. On an average, if you take an average of all the parfums out there, it might be about 20% fragrance oil to alcohol ratio. The second category, which was the EDP that we talked about, the general range is about 10 to 20% fragrance oils in these, and so an average of about 15% to if you look at a lot of the EDPs out there. The next category obviously is eau de toilette. So the eau de toilette is obviously a lower concentration. It's about 5 to 15, the range. On an average, it's about 10%. So a couple examples I have here is Burberry Touch for Men, which is again a unique scent. I love it. And Cartier, creation of Cartier Roadster. And this is the Roadster Sport. If you can see Roadster Sport here. So those are two examples of EDTs. The parfums, the first category, the concentrated oils, they don't really, they typically because the alcohol ratio is less, they don't project a lot. They stay on the skin or close to the skin. But really, that is the if you really like a fragrance, that's the best way to wear them, because that's more personal, and it really lasts for a long time, up to day, sometimes 24 hours or more. The EDPs are some of the EDPs out there stay for almost 15-20 hours, depending on what the fragrance oil concentration is. But they leave less. The sillage is kind of less. The projection is kind of lesser than EDTs. Some of the EDTs out there have more alcohol, so they project more. They have a better sillage. But the con is obviously they last lesser than an EDP or a parfum. But for day-to-day use, for a normal man going around and working or going to school or whatever the case may be, running a business, you typically need a perfume to really stay on you for anywhere from 6 to 10, 12 hours, depending on what your workday is like, unless you don't mind respraying if a certain perfume doesn't last that long. So those are the examples of EDT. Now I do have an example of eau de cologne, or cologne, which is, I also have a review for this one out there. It's Dior Homme Cologne, and this is again one of my favorites for summertime. So that is an example where the concentrations is even lower. It's anywhere from 3 to 8%. So on an average, you can say it's about 5% oil to alcohol ratio. Again, the colognes are lighter. They're supposed to be used in a hotter weather. Sports, outdoors, when it's high heat. And I don't actually all my colognes are aquatic, citrusy EDTs that I have. This is the only cologne I have. All the EDTs and the colognes, the lighter ones meant for summer, I don't mind actually doing some resprays. But again, if you like a cologne, it doesn't hurt to carry a little travel atomizer with you with the required cologne in there. So the last category is the aftershave or the body splash, and those are really low concentrations of oils, a lot of alcohol, but again, it's all about the blend. The concentration of the oil is anywhere from 1 to 3% in there. So hopefully this video helps you guys understand the difference between parfum, eau de parfum, eau de toilette, cologne, eau de cologne, and then body splash or aftershave. So if you have any comments, suggestions, leave them down here. Like the video if you learned something today, and subscribe if you haven't so far. So see you guys in the next video. Ciao from the Fragrance Dude.